3 whole eggs, 1 egg white.
When the egg whites still have that little bit of wobble on top, it's when you know that the eggs aren't done. So when they got that like moist, watery looking, clear, wobbly layer on top, Jamie Oliver taught me this. Good evening, subscribers, and welcome back to another video. I've got kind of fat. I said at the start of this year that I was not going to get over 200 pounds in my bulk, and I got to like 206, 207, 208. Currently at 204, which means the cut has officially started. We're getting shredded in lockdown, getting shredded in quarantine. We're gonna make it work, and we're gonna come out with a better physique than we went in. So this video, I'm gonna say it once, is basically everything I'm gonna do in terms of setting up my cut, how I'm gonna be doing things, and yeah, cutting.
Jump on it.
During this cut, my diet is gonna remain pretty much the same. Like the stuff that I'm eating, you'll notice is very similar to the stuff that I was eating in my full day of eating bulking video. The only thing that's gonna change is the number of, not penises, Alex, the number of calories. I am back to tracking macros. I'm using an app called MyFitnessPal, tracking everything that I eat. If you want to get shredded, if you want to get properly lean, you do need to be tracking calories and tracking macros. You can't really do it just by guessing. I'm weighing myself every single morning, putting that into an app called Happy Scale so I can log my weight, and then if my weight is not going down over the week, I will adjust my calories accordingly. At the start of the cut, you don't need to do cardio anyway. You don't really need to do cardio on a cut at all, you just reduce calories lower. As I don't have a cardio machine or any way to do cardio where I am currently at, I am making sure I get 10,000 steps per day on my Fitbit, tracking those steps. Your phone might also track steps if you've got a new iPhone, if you've got a new Android or anything like that. Probably not Android because Android is a shit. Then as we get deeper into the cut, if we're still in lockdown, I'll just up the amount of steps or pull food down, decrease the amount of calories that I'm eating at the end of the day. Weight gain is all about calories in versus calories out, what you burn versus what you put into your body, what you eat. Training is gonna remain exactly the same. If anything, we're gonna be training with more intensity, so we're gonna be training till failure, close to failure, still trying to progressively overload in all our lifts, even though we are cutting, because you can still gain size in the first few weeks or gain strength in the first few months. So training is gonna stay the same, just as intense, pretty much the same volume. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Me and my boy Tom are gonna train some arms with occlusion bands today.
Right there. You got the occlusion bands for occluding the arms. Mo, I've got this brilliant idea.
Mo, it's occlusion bands for your fucking cock. You want your hands to start turning black. That's when you know it's perfect.
Remember guys, as well, if you have them tight enough, you leave them on for about 1 hour, then go upstairs and touch your dick. It will feel like someone else is doing it because your arms will go completely numb.
Keep them on, about 20-30 seconds between sets. So first set I've done 15 reps each arm. I'm gonna do probably 12 on the next set.
What is it you don't do?
Come on.
Fuck!
Go on.
Fucking hell.
I
just think this is why your arms are better than mine, because you weigh lighter and are getting more reps than me. So I'm like, I've got to at least match him.
Yours are bigger than mine.
Yeah, but yours look better.
You're still mass, mate. You're all mass with no class. Go on, squeeze it out.
They close my eyes back, a black is all I see and slow. Everything's black. The darkest never sight. You're a serial alcoholic.
Not alcoholic, I just like rum.
Hey.
Lancet. These are the stabby things you use to take blood.
Step number 1, wash your hands. Hands are washed. Step number 2, and your non-dominant hand on your ring finger. I've done a lot of these and I can confirm that it doesn't actually hurt in here.
is a little like blade on a spring. So you push it in, it just gently stabs the end of your finger. It's like a pinprick. But the anticipation of doing it is the worst bit.
You ready? Slowly. Is that it?
You even do it?
Yes!
So we got some nice fresh ones. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Ow!
Where did you get me?
Alright, you ready?
Oh my god! I'm gonna need stitches!
That was probably the best blood test I've ever taken myself. I've done a few of these before. The secret is, right, I went to my ring finger first of all, but I think my skin's still quite thick there. So then I went to my little finger, and obviously your skin's a lot thinner, and maybe I just got better blood flow there. I stabbed it in, gave it a good old push, it didn't hurt at all, and then the blood just came like flowing out nicely. I managed to fill this up in about 2 minutes. So beautiful, quick, easy. All right, so we got to the point where I look at myself, I've looked at myself in the mirror, I'm like, Mo, okay, you're fat, you're probably not gonna be able to gain a lot more muscle, you don't really wanna get much fatter, you definitely don't wanna get much heavier, because at the start of the year, I was like, I'm not gonna get over 200 pounds, and I got to like 208 at the heaviest on this bulk, and the Corona cut has begun. I'm like, I don't care if the circumstances aren't perfect, I'm probably gonna lose a little bit of extra muscle. I'm gonna show you guys that you can get in shape, you can get shredded, you can get a sick physique, or maintain a sick physique whilst this is going on. And before I started properly cutting, I did one thing, and that is get a male hormone test. It is not essential, but I think it is important, and it's very good to do whether you're natural or not. One, it's very interesting to look at your hormones and see where you sit on this like hormonal scale, whether you're high testosterone, low testosterone. And number two is at the end of the cut, you can see if you've actually like suppressed your test or fucked up your testosterone or anything like that, and whether you might need to take something like, I like to supplement D-aspartic acid after cutting. As you get shredded, as you cut, if you're in a calorie deficit for a long period of time, it has a negative effect on your testosterone, and you can end up with very low testosterone, which is not good. Testosterone is obviously the male sex hormone. It's involved with everything to do with sex, it's involved with muscle building, it's involved with fat burning, sleep. Interestingly, it's also linked to things like depression. So people that are depressed often have low testosterone if you're a man as well, or the two can be linked. But anyway, long story short, this video is sponsored by Let's Get Checked. I have a unique URL code there if you guys want to support me and if you want to check out one of these tests. Obviously, it's not essential, you don't need to do it, but I think it's fucking cool to do. It's interesting. If you're an OG subscriber, you would have seen in my old videos where I've got numerous blood tests or hormonal screenings done in the past. I did them before I took SARMs, I did one after I took SARMs as well, I made a video on that, I'll put the links down below, that's kind of interesting. I've also liked to do them, I like to do them after a cut. If you've been dieting heavily all summer, you get to a point where your natural testosterone goes boom. So whether you're natty or not, whether you've ever taken anything or not, steroids, SARMs, whatever it is, it's still worth taking and worth getting an insight into your testosterone. So that brings me on to the boys and girls at Let's Get Checked. Hit me up, they're like, Mo, do you want to do a video on your testosterone? Do you want to run one of our tests and we'll make it a sponsored video? I was like, hell yeah. Your test kit comes in one of these cool, funky little boxes, discreet packaging. Nobody in your family has to know that you are a fake natural. That secret can stay between you and Let's Get Checked, which is absolutely banging. Open the box, register your test kit. You want to be doing the blood test in the morning because your body changes throughout the day. Once you've got your blood, you package it up, you put it back in the box, you put it in the bag, and then you attach the prepaid shipping labels, and then within 2 to 5 days, you will have your results. So this is the one I just done. Male hormone, testosterone, 19.1 nanomoles a deciliter. God damn, that is good, that is Gucci. So they give you an average range, or like the normal range. I think it's based on the test and the way that they test it, is 7.6 to 31.4. 19.1 is pretty good. Doctor has been over the results. Dr. Dominic Rowley, big up my G, has said your testosterone has returned normal. This means your testosterone levels were within the normal range for an adult male. Fuck yeah, which means that it's good for me to start cutting. I'm going to be fine cutting, and my bulk has successfully returned my testosterone levels back to normal, and I haven't got the testosterone levels of a 95-year-old woman. So macros then. I like to keep things really, really simple. I used to make it really complex, do loads of complex mathematical equations, but now I don't like to do that because there's absolutely no point to it, and less is more in the sense of calculating macros. If you can't do this, if you can't calculate macros, there is no hope for you. Go jump off a bridge and save our gene pool, because it is very, very simple and very easy. protein intake. For protein intake, what we're gonna do is we're gonna go off 1 gram of protein per pound of lean body weight. At the start of my cut, I'm about 205/210 pounds. I like to keep protein a little bit higher at the start of my cut, so I'm going with 200 grams of protein because I'm 200 pounds, so that's about a gram per pound of body weight. But I will drop that down to as low as 180 grams as I start to get lighter and lighter and lighter. Fats and carbohydrates, both very, very important. When people like slash carbs to absolutely nothing, there is absolutely no point in doing that whatsoever. So for fats, I like to go with around 80 grams. It's just like a nice number in my head. But the way you can work that out really, really easily is take your weight in kilograms and basically eat 1 gram of fat per kilo of body weight. I'm about 90 kilograms, but I like to go a little bit lower on the fat side of things just so I got a little bit more carbs. So I've got the number 80, just got it looks right. It's what I like to do, it's nice. Carbohydrates, I'm gonna take the amount of carbohydrates I've been bulking on, then take away a couple of hundred. So I was on 550 grams of carbs a day, take that down to 400, and then literally just stick to these macros. This works out at about 3,120-ish calories. So what I'm gonna do is eat at these macros every day for about a week, log my weight, track my weight every single morning at the same time. If my weight doesn't change, I will start to drop carbohydrates off by about 25 grams of carbs a pop, which is about 100 calories, so I'll go down to 375, and then I'll do that a couple of times, and I'll start to take a few grams of fat away as well. So I reduce calories by primarily removing carbs, a little bit of fat, but I'll never go below 50 grams of fat on any of my cut really. Protein will pretty much stay the same. Obviously you've got like calorie calculators and loads of other shit that's basically just guesstimating, all guesswork. If you go by your body weight, if you go by real world data, how your body is actually changing, that is gonna be the best, most accurate thing you can possibly do. So those are my macros at the start of my cut. Any questions, hit me up down below, and I'll probably completely ignore them and not reply to them, but I might, you never know, I might reply to them if it's a good question. So right, this is the start of my 2020 cut. Currently a chungus, currently chubby, currently got absolutely no jawline aesthetics, but mark my words, we're gonna cut back to this video in about 6 months when I'm a fucking shredded sick cunt, and I'm gonna be like, I told you so.